Hello and welcome to this week's episode. We're going to take a look at the different facts about juniper.
Juniper is sometimes known as needle yew, cedar, savin, bastard killer, fairy circle, hagmatack, or gimberry, amongst others.
Interesting names there, Jess.
I nearly didn't say them correctly.
I think hagmatack is actually the most interesting one, considering there's naughty words in there.
Yeah.
History and folklore. The story entitled Red Riding Hood in the book The Hero of Estonia tells of a mother laying down juniper branches and making the sign of the cross over them to protect her sleeping children from devils. In the story, The Compassionate Shoemaker, in the same book, the devil is defeated by being struck by a staff of juniper. In Argonautica, Medea uses a freshly cut spray of juniper to sprinkle her sleeping potion into the eyes of the serpent guiding the golden fleece. The story of the juniper tree, recorded by the Brothers Grimm, tells of a juniper tree that appears to act as a magical guide and guardian for the people of the household.
Propagation. Several varieties of juniper are available in the nursery trade as juvenile plants, and it is important when you choose them to find out what species you are getting if you hope to use your plant for food seasoning or medicine. There are many different cultivars of different species. You can grow juniper from seed collected from positively identified wild specimen as well, though some special care will need to be taken. Juniper seeds can lay dormant for many years. They are dispersed by passing through the digestive systems of birds and other animals that eat the berries. Before they will grow, the seed coat must be damaged, and this can be accomplished by nicking them with a sharp knife or rubbing them with sandpaper. Juniper serves as a host for several species of butterfly and moth.
I think it's important to point out, if you are going to use any plant as food seasoning or for medicinal uses, always know what species you have, because different species of different plants do different things, and some are toxic, some are fine, so always know the species you're having if you're planning to consume that plant in any way.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's always best to buy them from somewhere that know the stuff, like go to a proper garden centre or somebody that you know that they're growing them correctly, or you know growing the right breeds. That's super important with any plant. That was a good thing to point out, actually.
Yeah, like just be very, very careful, and if you think that a plant has been identified wrong, question that.
Mhm.
Use your common sense there, because people do get it wrong sometimes. Everyone's human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you do think that someone's identified something slightly wrong and you think that it could possibly be something else, then proceed with caution. But I thought it was very interesting about the seeds as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. Usually you wouldn't want to damage the seed.
Yeah, and if I would just plant it, like I would
Yeah.
be like, oh, let's grow a juniper tree.
And we would fail at growing juniper because we do it wrong. Every day is a learning day.
Harvesting and storage. Juniper berries are ripe when they are quite plump, dark green with the appearance of a bluish dust on them. They are usually ready in early to mid-autumn, and you may find immature berries on a bush with mature berries, as they can retain them for more than a year. The berries are rich in essential oils, but they are very sensitive oils, so they should be kept in cool, dry place out of sunlight, dried gently or frozen to preserve them.
Magical attributes. Juniper corresponds to the energy of Saturn or Jupiter and the element fire. The juniper tree is sacred to Apollo, Asherah, and Astarte. Juniper is mentioned as a suitable incense for ritual offerings and ingredients for sacred fires in a variety of Mediterranean, European, and Native American sources. It burns readily with a pleasant fragrance, and charcoal made of juniper seems to be suitable for burning incense. The leaves may be bundled and burned and used as a purifying and protective fumigant to ward off any unpleasantness, including disease, and sanctify an object or space. In Scotland, juniper was burned by the need fire when disease threatened and for staining, as well as in cattle sheds during the winter holidays to ensure their protection. In Central Europe, juniper berries and rue were burned in Walpurgis night to keep away witches. Juniper appears to be the fumigant of choice in Siberia, where it is used for ritual purification and blessing of sacrifices, ritual objects, and people and animals.
Juniper's very magical.
Very.
You probably
And
did not hear it here first.
and people would have used it to keep us away in the past. Nice to know.
Juniper is also a relatively common ingredient in the kafai, the incense used in ancient Egyptian temples and households. Juniper wood may also be burned during divination. Juniper oil, branches, or berries may be effectively added to anti-theft spells. Frau Watchholder is the goblin of the juniper tree who may be evoked to help discover a thief by bending the tree's branches. Powwows, or long lost friends, describes pinning a juniper bush under a rock to compel a thief to return stolen goods. It also references juniper for a number of healing remedies. Scott Cunningham, The Magical Household, describes an anti-theft charm including juniper berries, elder leaves or mistletoe, caraway, and rosemary. Carry a sprig of juniper with you or keep some berries in your pocket to protect against thieves whilst you're out and about, and keep some in your car to keep that safe too. So basically, if you have something valuable, just douse it in juniper oil.
Pretty much.
We've never come across something doing these videos either where it has a goblin mentioned that's like attached to that thing either. I think
Never.
that's quite cool.
Juniper can also be used as a protective charm against troublesome spirits as well as thieves. The tree itself can be grown near the door or along the path to the house. Branches spread out on the ground around the entrance or boughs hung above entrances. It is said that a juniper shrub or tree is a particularly effective and magical hiding place. Perhaps juniper can be added to hiding and invisibility charms as well. Juniper berries can be used in love spells, particularly to enhance male interest and potency. Steep in wine and drink a few sips daily to increase male virility. Steep in vinegar and add it to your bath to make yourself more attractive to men, or apply it directly to the genitals. Interesting. Make sure it's diluted with water, though, to increase male interest in them, or add it to a bath. You're sharing. Juniper berries and their essential oils make for a nice masculine scent for men's cosmetics, aftershaves, and beard oils, for example. Use with due caution.
Some interesting points made there.
It kind of shocked me. I didn't expect us to have to put it on our genitals, but I might give it a go,
Make sure you dilute it.
I will, definitely.
Healing attributes. Juniper is antibacterial, antiviral, diuretic, antiseptic, abortifacient, and emmenagogue. Juniper berries have been used for intestinal complaints including parasites, though large amounts may irritate the stomach and intestinal lining. Juniper has a strong diuretic action and may be used for urinary tract infections. 1 to 2 teaspoons of crushed berries steeped in hot water for 10 minutes may be drunk 2 to 3 times a day for up to 4 weeks. Juniper tea after dinner is said to help improve digestion, reduce blood sugar spikes, and help the body rid itself of uric acid to relieve and prevent gout. Juniper can be used in a vapor rub or in diffusers for colds, coughs, and bronchitis. It may also be added to soothing salves and massage oil for joint and muscle pain. It is also a useful addition to topical preparations to treat eczema, psoriasis, acne, fungal infections, and for the prevention of infection. Juniper was used for birth control before safer and more reliable alternatives were developed.
Culinary use. Gin is made using juniper berries, and they can also be used to make beer, brandy, and wine. They are also a good seasoning for meats, particularly wild game and fatty meat. Juniper wood on the hot coals over which meat is cooked will enhance its flavour. The Navajo use juniper ash for preparing cornmeal.
I then thought, is juniper berry and sloe berries the same thing? Because you make sloe berry gin, right? So I looked it up. For anyone wondering, no, it's not.
Oh, it's
Juniper berry is traditional gin, like
yeah.
all gin basically, and slow gin that you can like make in your kitchen cupboards at home is slow gin. You know,
Ah,
like made from
okay then.
slow berries. So
That's again why it's important to like know the difference in varieties, right? Like they might be related, but they
yeah.
are different species ultimately. Oh,
I mean, I didn't go that deep into it and find out whether they were related and things like that. It just like the question popped up to me, like, oh, because I've made slow gin before.
mm-hmm.
I've gone and picked slow berries and made slow gin, but I've never picked juniper berries and made gin. So I was like, oh, and they do look similar as well. You know, they both got that blue dusty coating on them. So
Yeah.
oh, I wonder if they're similar or like the same thing. But I looked it up. They're not the same thing. They are two different berries, and they do make two different types of gin. For anyone that has also had that question arise from this part of the video.
It's good to know.
Essential oil. The oil of juniper stem distilled from the wood and leaves is called cade oil. Juniper berry oil is extracted from the berries. The oil is particularly delicate and prone to evaporation and should be kept tightly sealed in a cool place away from light. Juniper oil has antimicrobial and antifungal properties. Now, I thought this was interesting as well because obviously we have essential oils, we're a retailer of essential oils, and we have juniper berry essential oils. But knowing that essential oils can also be extracted from the woods, you know, for cinnamon bark, for example, cedar wood is another example of essential oil. I always did wonder where the wood part of the juniper tree came in for the essential oils, and it's cade oil, which I had absolutely no idea, to be completely honest.
I'm like blown away by the stuff that we still learn every day. It's fascinating, and there's so much to it. Even going through and like adding on to the essential oil guide that we've got, it's like, oh, I love the light bulb moments. So
Yeah.
I love learning all the new things.
So I might have to go and look for some cade oil now and the different benefits of cade oil just to know the difference between the wood part of the tree and the berry part of the tree. Because cinnamon, for example, you can get cinnamon bark oil or you can get cinnamon leaf oil. We have cinnamon leaf oil, and they have two different aspects to them. So it's very interesting to look at what the different parts of the tree do when you start extracting the oils from them.
Caution. Juniper was known as bastard killer when herbal abortions were relied upon before medical abortions took their place. Pregnant women should not use juniper in medicinal doses. Juniper may change the way your body regulates blood sugar. Diabetics and others who need to carefully regulate their blood sugar should approach juniper with caution. Juniper should not be used while taking medication to regulate your blood sugar. Juniper irritates the kidneys and should not be used by individuals with any sort of kidney disease. Juniper should not be taken in addition to any other diuretic drug or herb without careful supervision. Juniper berries are toxic in high doses. Juniper oils, tars, and resins may irritate the skin. Use due caution. Allergy test and sufficient dilution. Male juniper plants release highly allergenic pollen, sometimes in large clouds.
Now we know why bastard killer is a name listed at the beginning, but why fairy circle?
Probably to do with something with the magical attributes,
Hmm.
with the good old goblin frau, maybe.
I do love that it's got a goblin attached to it. I won't lie. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of cute. Thanks for joining us on today's episode. We hope you learned something new. Please like, subscribe, and ding the bell so you don't miss future uploads.